Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen of the press, I see a lady. I'd like to thank you so very kindly for attending to a short notice for a call press conference. I know there are a couple of concerns as to why should the NPA react to allegations linking the managing director of the port, the Honorable Bill Twawe, to claims and counterclaims of his quote-unquote alleged involvement into the murder of the IAA Boss. The concerns were a set of significant to speak to those tragic issues and how he had thought about those. It is imperative because we live in a gullible world. People use Facebook wrongly for different motives. Some propaganda, some to dispel the character of high-end personalities who've built a reputation over the years. So the need to respond to these allegations which are trash cannot be overemphasized. So we've called here today to speak to claims from, and I refer to them as one, an absolute nonsense and a bold-faced, notorious lie from a criminal, Henry Costa, who is always in a habit of taking to social media and spewing lies about people. So before I speak to the main issue for which you were called, I'd like to give you a chronological account of the many lies he told about the port and the managing director. And as he was telling those lies, I was on his back as official spokesperson of the port to erect the necessary checkpoints and provide one. Some months back, Henry Costa took to the social media Facebook page and lied that the managing director of the port, the Honorable Bill Twawe, and his security guards were arrested and held in custody in Brussels and prevented from traveling to the US of A. Even though the managing director did not take his feet or legs off the shores of Liberia to board a plane to go anywhere. When it was discovered after a counter post to the lie he told on his Facebook page that the MD did not travel out of Liberia, that the managing director was in office doing Liberia business, with evidence of a video footage of the MD being in office and later on shown by Carrasco in the president's compound, Henry Costa shamefully brought down that post from his page and he put his tail in his legs and checked it out. That was a sufficient lesson for him. But I think it seems that he did not learn well. He went back after that event. He lied. He told a notorious lie to control the. Sorry, I would appreciate if you have your phones on mute so that we don't get distracted. So, after the event just talked about, the very Henry Costa took the same Facebook page and lied that there was a vessel that got sunk in the entrance channel of the port. Again, that was a devilish lie. At no point in time whatsoever do we have a record of a vessel sinking in recent days. He went further to say because of the sinking of this vessel, as alleged by him, vessels weren't coming to Liberia. We countered that lie and provided half facts with the navigation and sailing of vessels through our ports. Again, he chickened away and brought those lies down. It seems he wasn't satisfied. Of recent, just before the main event for which I call you to be talked about, he lied about some transaction alleging that the managing director duped a Liberian national in a car deal. He claimed that the MD negotiated the procurement of a pickup for his personal use and refused to pay the individual his amount. of which the picker valued. And the truth about that lie he told was that the managing director had absolutely no connection to the vehicle or the pickup in question that he talked about. It was evidently proving that one of the staff of the port was the one who procured that pickup. And we went on our Facebook page to provide documentation of the transaction and the person's name the pickup was procured for their personal use. So, having chronologically outlined these lies, Henry has transitioned from being a notorious liar to an assassin character, career blackmailer. A fortnight ago, he posted on his Facebook page, and I'll read this caption for you before I address the issues he spoke about in this post. Please, I appreciate you just gave me lesson on me. Thank you. So Henry Costa writes, breaking news. That's what you always say. Some of your news are not breaking. They are fake. He says, both Travis Seaport Police Director and ex-MPFL General Logan Davis and his booty ex-rebel Sabato Dennis are the murderers. He didn't say alleged, which says that he has the fact, and we'll get him to his state. They murdered, according to what he's writing and quoting his post, the LRA auditors and IAA Boss Jinsua. I will give you details tomorrow morning. End of quote. That's what he wrote. That's the rubbish he wrote on his page. And without delay, though he blocked me because we've always had a rough ride, every time he lied, I would bring him the book. I was fortunate to have had the screenshot, and I went, posted on his very page and said, I'm watching and waiting, and you get a file for free with your nonsense post. This morning, waking up from there to a couple of messages about, birthday compliments. Costa again was on his Facebook page, and please, we're not dignifying him or trying to speak to what it is. Besides what he posted on his page, he was brave to speak further that the managing director hired Logan Davis and Sabato to kill the IAA boss. This is grief. But here is the fact. I have worked with at least 5 managing directors here at the NPA. Far before working with the Honorable Bill Twawe, I have not known him, and no one knows him to be someone who kills a fly. There is no record of such. The MP has not stone of fly, least to talk about killing him. And so, the records of humanity and being a human are very crystal clean, transparent, and can in no way be linked to murdering somebody who is a friend. Whilst we regret the unfortunate passing of the IAA boss, it is despicable, very notorious for this blackmailer and liar-in-chief to stain the character of reputable people in society. In his podcast this morning, he failed even to promise to provide details from his post to say how, what the facts that links the MD to the murder of the IAA boss. So we've called you here to say the comments by Costa on his Facebook page and his podcast this morning are bold-faced upright lies. They are pathological nonsense, and they have absolutely no iota of truth in it. Once we don't want to dignify him, there are questions as to why he's doing those questions are yours. And as I end this statement, I will take a few questions, maybe we'll talk about those. So, in the meanwhile, I'd like to inform you that those who Costa named as quote-unquote alleged individuals in connection to this murder are holding consultations and conversations with their lawyers to ensure that the U.S. Embassy is notified about these grave allegations. Reason why it is unfortunate for criminals alike who speak lie to go into safe haven in the U.S. and say trash, and they aren't men enough with rare balls to come back home and provide the facts and facing those they're accusing. So I'd like to inform you, like I mentioned, that these people who are claimed or accused to be masterminds of the killing of the IAA Boss are holding consultation with a lawyer to ensuring that there is legal redress. And one of those will be the notification of the U.S. Embassy about the constant habit of Henry Costa staying in the U.S. and safe haven and say runs that will stain the image and reputation of high people who are working in the interest of the state. I'd like to thank you and look forward to a few questions if you may. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Julius, content and report for Fortune TV. In your closing statement, you spoke about the two security personnel in question at the NPA thinking about legal recourse. Is the MD also thinking in that same direction? If so, how soon? And to my question, could you just give us, for the clarity of the media, the history or background, the character of the individuals that are linked to the alleged murder of Mr. Emmanuel Martinez?
Thank you. Legal, processes are not just at a snap of finger. What I can say, and to just be reiterate, is that they are holding consultation with the lawyer for the possibility of ensuring that there is redress to these concerns. And what is of interest is the fact that you have this notorious liar staying in the safe haven and throwing, trash at them. So the one can look at the logic into what we say. Okay, if he has bought, as a man, if he balls a groom, he might want to come to Liberia and face the accuser. But that chicken can go to the places that are out and speak rubbish. So you asked a question with respect to the deportments, if I may, about these people. I have worked here, and most of the people I've worked with have known, what they've made of. So no one questions the integrity and character of another person. All right, especially so when rubbish is spilled about those people and the facts are not there. So let me just say for a record here, and if this question is not asked, I know there is this claim that Costa made about these people, and what he doesn't know is that here before me is a court document that speaks to the vindication of one of those he named, who you say is a murderer. All right, the fact about what happened in the past that he doesn't know and trying to speak, rubbish about, is that a gentleman on the scene about an incident that claimed the life of another person. All right, and so there's an arrest, and for whatever reason, if the person is detained, they will have to go through investigation. So during the course of the investigation as to what happened, for which Costa talked about and tried to link it and think that because those happened to the person, the murderer, the actual duo of the guy who Costa named that was killed admitted in open court that he did the act. Based on his confession in open court, Logan David was vindicated and issued clearance. Before me here, you want to zoom in? It's something that testifies to the deportment and character of the person we want to talk about. So how can you link those? So you want to spin on that and talk lies and try to play on the culpability of people. So I hope that addressed your question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Dr. I report for KMTV. Listening to what you just said, this is a issue of defamation, and like you said, you have their lawyers already prepared. what don't you take this Henry Costa to court instead of you having press conference or speaking out about it?
Well, the importance of the press conference is to firstly, correct the temperance. And again, it doesn't hide anything. I know a lot of people say there's nothing to respond to him. A lot of people say he's a puppet, and who just want attention. But the society and the world at large is gullible. Okay? Someone who's listening to him, who may not have the full kind of idea, will be made to believe that what he's saying is real. So the need to speak to these things are always imperative, and that's the reason we call you here to speak to the facts. We gave you accounts of how he lied about the MD's name and the port, from posting that he was arrested in Brussels, whereby he did not travel out of Liberia, from posting that there was vessels that got sunk in the port, which was outright lies, from posting that the MD duped somebody in the pickup, were all bull-faced lies. Today, he's transitioning from a liar to a character assassin. So the necessity to bring him to book is why we're calling the press conference and speak to the truth and tell the world that all of what he said were all criminal and just mad lies.
Yeah. Benito Titabwa, and I'm from Panan TV and radio as well. I want to know, what do you think Henry Costa and others have taken keen interest in tarnishing the reputation of Mr. Bill?
So here's why you might not want to know, and you be the judge. I am the Director of Public Affairs of the port. Alright? There is no way, it is not humanly possible for a consultant to do media work for the port without the public affairs being in the know. So it was discovered that Henry Costa's name was on the payroll of the NPA prior to the appointment of the managing director, Bill Tuare. So having discovered that his name was on the payroll, and when I got the information, in fact, the way I got to know that was the very Costa, because he blocked me, we've not been friends. I'll fight always back at people who, want to throw jabs and try to allow people's character. I don't hold back at that. Sorry if it is not corporate communication, but bad soul needs bad mess. That's what I do. So I've always chased him like a raccoon in the hole. Alright? So out of some courage, he texted my WhatsApp one morning, asking me to go and follow up on a payment for him, and I'm like, how is that possible? So as I tried to go through the system, indeed it was proving that by some crooks and hoaxmeans, his name was on the payroll. So when the managing director of Bilton was appointed, we're looking to verify the rationale of having Henry Costa on the MPA's payroll. Alright, so without delay, we have it deleted. So it is on the basis of those, he has grown anger, and very bitter, extremely bitter, and fighting back because we've taken bread from his mouth. Alright, I'm told he cannot be ready for what he stays in these things. So it's getting out on him. So apparently he's launching measures. But those measures, we have to bulletproof for that, and we respond accordingly to what he says. So these are some of the reasons. You be the judge. There's a proven fact, and I can pull my phone here to those messages that he called, asked me, prostrating on his knees to go and ask, wanting me to go and follow up on payments that are unnecessary for him. So the fact that his name was removed, those are the ego and anger he has for which he wants to fight.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
I'm Titonu Kodi. I come from Prime FM. She had just asked one of my questions, but I want to know whether the managing director of the tour, quote unquote, the NPA management is embarrassed by the report.
No, the MD is actually not appalled by this. Okay, he's not worried. He's not. The MD is a workaholic. As I speak to him, he has done some major Islamic interests before. All right, so I'm the designated person to speak to the thing. He's not panicking. But let me tell you what happens, okay? The MD is a human. He's a friend of everybody. All right, so these things will not bother him at all. But what is important is that you do know, as director of news at Prime FM, if you are innocent of crimes you know nothing about, and someone comes to the public land, especially Facebook and social media, and speak lies about you, the need to have those corrected is what we're doing right now. So the MD is not panic about this. It's about his normal business, working in the interest of the country. So, it doesn't cost a thing for him. The truth is,
the government has launched an investigation into it. For Henry Costa to allege and point accusing fingers at these people would mean that the government, through the security apparatus, should have him invited to come and answer to these questions and give hard facts to the rubbish he's saying. That's what the police should be doing right now. And I'm encouraging the media. That's the essence of journalism. If someone says this person is a rogue, all right, it's not just about asking the person whether you're a rogue. Go beyond what the person says and get the hard facts. The NPA has never killed flag in his life before. There's no record absolute to that. And it doesn't make sense for Henry Costa and the likes to point accusing finger at him in this kind of foreign manner.
Yeah, Christopher Walker from Frontish Africa. Welcome. I'd like to know what's the relationship between the MD and the late IAA Boss, and why is it, if this is so grave that the MD attention has been drawn to this, why is it he's not pushing the press instead of you? Because this is about his character and you may not be the one to actually defend his character.
So here is it. The managing director does not work in isolation of the work he does. Alright? The reason why I'm speaking to this because Henry Costa poses NPA's managing director. I'm the spokesperson of the port. The fact that I have talked about the character of Logan David, who's been accused, affairs of a port matter that has to do with the managing director and the designated person to speak to him until where he has the courage to want to speak to himself, but it doesn't take away anything. So you asked about the relations between the two of them. The MD and the late Yosua are good friends. Alright? So I'm trying to stomach someone who has not killed a fly. For what reason? Something that Henry did not say. For what reason? Where the MD want to just take the life of a friend and a brother. So you ask for the relationship. They had a cordial and a brotherly relationship. And heaven knows that under no condition will the MD, be that so brave to want to take the life of his brother.
Yeah, I'm sure consumer of an you claim that Costa was on the payroll of National Treasury.
Sir.
How much was it?
Henry, whether by the arrangement was receiving up to 5,000 US dollar, and that he sees as a very huge amount of money. And besides, let me tell you this: when for the respect for financial prudence, the government of recent got the names of most names from payrolls across the government. So besides Harry's name that was identified on the payroll of the code, he covertly to a very close man, without the knowledge of my department, and afterwards it discovered he wasn't the only person who was getting the amount. He maneuvered his way and went to another covert person to get similar amount. So we deleted those two names. So it's hurting so badly. That's why you see him crying.
5,000 monthly or per month?
Monthly. It's not a small money that he's crying for. So
which department?
Be the judge. Well, like I said, myself was shocked when I saw documents that he was providing consultancy for the port. So
which department? Consultancy on what?
Well, that is yet to be established. What is important is that he was given freaking 500K, and that's been taken from his pockets. So he has a leaky pocket right now, and he's crying like a wolf and trying to destroy people's character.
Yeah, follow up. Who is the additional person you just mentioned?
Well, I didn't get that, but that's one of his black male friends. I need to just verify. Just a male.
One more question.
Yes. So beside the follow-up question, you do the acknowledging, right? You fled the country, with the intent of wanting to go to school, even though you're not school, you just have other issues, so I try issue. But apparently he can no longer pay his bills, pay his school fees, so it is hurting him. So what he referred to doing right now is to destroy the image and character of people. You cannot dim and mold the image and heart and character of people who are significant in society. You can do that. Alright, so apparently also he wanted to distract some of the good things that are happening here. You all here, we've not had press conference in this kind of facility before. We had a building there, you can attest to that. So when these accomplishments are made, and credits are given to people who are executing the mandate for development, people get weary. So these are some of the reasons that you could be thinking about.
Next
Yeah.
question, okay, quickly.
Yeah.
A follow-up, please.
Okay.
Are you sure that Henry Costa is or was depending on this particular 5,000 that you claim to pay his school fees?
Henry is a notorious blackmailer. Alright? He feeds on blackmailing. So this might have been one of his financial source of income to get him going and do more blackmailing. So because we cut it off, so he's angry like a roaring lion and want to destroy the image of
And under whose administration was Henry Costa?
Well, I
paid
said
the
before the
5,000?
appointment of the managing director. Thank you so very kindly for coming. Thank you.